My name's Tom McGinnis. I'm from Ozark Knife Makers, and a question I am asked a lot is, why do you stamp your knife, or should I stamp my knife? And the question is, you should stamp your knife. If you're proud of your knife, you should stamp it. And the next question is, where do I get a good stamp? And I'm going to tell you these answers. And then some things to do and you could do and shouldn't do, and some safety issues is what we're going to talk about for the next few minutes. So I'm going to cover these things with you here in just a minute. And if you're ever in our part of the country, come and do a class with us. We have several knife classes. Why should you stamp your knife? If you're not proud enough to put your name on it, that's what other people think too. So you need to put your name on your knife. And another reason you need to put your name on your knife, people buy your knives as an investment. If Bob Lovelace hadn't to stamp some of his first knives, they wouldn't be worth near what they're worth today. I mean, a $300 knife back in his early days might be worth $18,000 today, but it wouldn't be worth that if he didn't have his name on it. What kind of stamp do you want? You need a good stamp, a stamp that the maker will stand behind, that knows what he's doing. And this is just one of my favorite ones, is Steel Stamps Incorporated. They make one of the finest stamps, and I've never had no trouble. If I have trouble, they will replace my stamp if I didn't break it. So make sure your steel is soft and you get a good stamp. I hot stamp a lot of my names in my steel. Now, hot stamping your name into your knife, I use one like this held in a pair of channel locks. I put it on the blade. It's red hot. I hit it. I get a real deep impression. But now a drawback from that is you've created a hard spot in the steel. So you need to normalize or anneal the steel. You need to heat it non-magnetic and then let it air cool. That will realign the grain structures in the steel where you build a stress point up. So that's a good thing to remember if you hot stamp, especially right here where a knife takes a lot of pressure, prying. A knife is used for every kind of tool you can think of. So remember, if you hot stamp, normalize the steel or soften the steel back. Heat it to 1450, let it cool slow. The grain structure will realign. Here's a little tool that'll help you get it straight when you do it. I'm going to lay this paper down, but remember, Steel Stamps Incorporated. They're good people. This is a jig we have made, but you can make them or buy them. And what you do, you loosen these 3/16, and you pick your blade up, you put it under here, you line it up in the hole where you can see. Okay, we've got the knife placed in the fixture here. Now this stamp will fit right in that fixture. So you need to know how it lines up in here and where it's going to hit your blade. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn my stamp like this, drop it in, and then I'm going to hit it, hold down and hit it one good lick. It's real important that these heads are flat. They get them flat when you buy them. If you grind on them, you're going to start getting your stamp good on one side and not good on the other. This fixture holds this in place straight up and down. If you're doing it without a fixture, you have to make sure that stamp is parallel, not leaning. You hit it when it's leaning and it's going to fly out of your hand. I'm going to do this one real quick. One good lick, we should have it. Now I'm going to loosen it and take it out, and I want you to look at this. It's a perfect, I could not do this good by holding it. And A knife maker's worst nightmare is have to try and restamp or grind out a bad stamp. So sometimes these are perfect. Now, I don't know if you can get a good picture of this or not. That's an awful little stamp, but it's perfect. The letters are all the way across. They're not tilted. When you lay your blade in there and line it up, and I got a good even heat, sunk good. Now, you could not get it that good by holding it in your hand. But see, that's small, it's script, and it's a perfect stamp. One thing on the safety part of this, never ever use a hydraulic press to put your name in and try and press it. You will ruin that, and it can blow up in your hand. Metal will fly. It's like a 30-06 blowing up in your hand, or a gun. It could kill you, put an eye out. Just never do it. You can use it. You can do it the way I just showed you. You can use an arbor press. But these stamps are safe. They're made well, and the people there at this company will treat you good, honest people. Great to work with. This stamp here, Ozark Knife Makers, has hot stamped thousands of tomahawks, and it's still good. You can look at the head of it. It's bent over. You can tell how many times that thing's been hit. This is the people I want building my stamps. They do great.